Welcome to NASPA Tonight.
This is all your Scrabble news in 25 minutes or less.
I'm Josh Greenway.
I'm Jackson Smylie.
Let's talk about Scrabble.
So we also have a third person here who needs a little banner.
That's right, but he's not getting a banner.
We have with us the one and only Evan Berofsky. Welcome, Evan. How are you doing?
Great. Great to be here.
So
Fantastic.
you're not from here most of the time.
No, I've decided to come here to visit family and friends and spend time with you two.
And we also just saw you very recently because we were just at a tournament together, not even a few days ago. And I heard, this is the Shediac tournament, there's a rumor going around that you have this new, it's a new kind of disorder where you only eat one food.
Yeah, I'm seeking treatment for it. I have an addiction to lobster.
We have some evidence here we're going to show you guys. It's really bad. Evan, we don't know what we're going to do. Yeah.
Here we go. If you don't know Evan, I think we might as well fill in Evan's credentials, right? 10-time Toronto Scrabble Club champion, over 2,000 rated, Collins player, Malta winner. What else have you won?
General Bon Vivant.
There's another big tournament that you won. Not New Orleans, but
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Yeah. Absolutely. So here we go. This is a little piece that we put together on Evan's love of lobster.
What I like the most about the Shediac tournament is obviously the lobster. Shediac is definitely the lobster capital of the world because I can eat lobster at every meal. Because I can get as much lobster as possible, and they have the most lobster shipping plants in this area. I like lobster because it tastes great and is less filling.
And give me
The dishes that I ate on this trip that included lobster were seafood risotto, 2 different times eating lobster rolls, and the dinner that they served last night on the Saturday night, where I ate 2 lobsters because someone gave me theirs.
And we're back.
So we forgot to start the clock.
But Evan is in charge of the clock tonight.
He's on the ball. He's
I
for a future episode.
also want to make a note. It was Evan's birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Evan.
That's why he's on the show. If it's your birthday and you're in Toronto, there's some chance that we'll have you on the show.
Be careful what you wish for. You never know what's going to happen. So we have a few headlines this week. The first of which, obviously, is our special guest of the week. But as many of you know, what you're all waiting for is the announcement of the NASC location in 2019. I can't wait. I have no idea where it is.
Well, you're gonna have to wait because we've got Art Moore, the NASC director, the captain of the NASC ship, the SS NASC, I like to call it. He's coming on in just a little bit. And we're going to do the announcement at that time.
So hold your horses. It is coming. The NASC is still happening. Don't worry. It's not canceled. I know you're thinking it. But our third headline is the tournament we all just came from
That's
just
right.
a couple days ago. Shediac, New Brunswick. It is the best tournament. You've probably been seeing on Facebook how many people are in love with this town and this tournament. I love it myself, even though I haven't posted a Facebook status about it. We wanted to share a video with you guys because the people who put on the tournament take everyone out to on like this boat cruise every year, and it's really nice. And we just want to show you exactly what you can expect in Shediac. You get these nice views of the ocean, fresh lobster all over the place. What do you guys think of Shediac?
Well, this obviously we get the sunset. Look at all these happy Scrabblers here. You see Adam and Jackson standing around awkwardly for this shot.
Rivals. That's why we don't talk.
I see. But this was my first time in Shediac. You guys have both been there before, and I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a tough tournament. There's quite the field.
Yeah. The big thing with this tournament is that the town of Shediac sponsors it. They put together a prize fund that's really good, so you get more than all of your entry fee back, which is pretty sweet. So the top prize this year is $1,200 in TWL and $900 in Collins. So if you like money or lobster, you get to spend your prize money on lobster. It's great. You should come to Shediac. So we want to do a quick elevator pitch for how each of our tournaments went. So we're going to go around in a circle and tell everyone about someone else's tournament.
And we do this because whenever you tell someone about how you did at Scrabble, they immediately stop listening. So, but let's go. We're on a clock here.
Yeah.
Who's starting?
All right, I will start. I'm going to describe Evan's tournament. It started out really rough for Evan. He was going in as a top seed in the Commons division, and he had a bit of a rough start, but he clawed his way back, as he's known to do. And with 2 games left, he had to win both of them to make the finals. And he did not win both of them. He won the final one to retain 2,000 on the dot. And a fine, mediocre showing. So you can go ahead and describe Josh's tournament for the audience.
Josh, who still has never studied ever.
That's not true. I studied once, like
twos,
early on.
The twos,
The twos.
Yeah, twos.
I know him like the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, who went into the tournament without ever having studied, went in with mediocre expectations. Knew probably his first opponent was going to be somebody tough.
And it was.
It was. He still put on a pretty good showing, even though. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Hey, I won my first game with a triple gong leg.
A gong leg.
That was exciting.
That's right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's the.
Totally just threw it out there. I had no idea if it was good. Is that it? All right. I am going to now talk about Jackson's tournament. Jackson came in top seed, I believe, coming into Shediac. A lot of big expectations. Didn't finish as the number 1, but it was super exciting right at the end because there were 4 people basically in contentions for the finals. Shediac has a 2-person finals. They play a best of 2. And there were 2 players, and then Jackson was, I think, number 3, and Josh Sokol was number 4. In the last round of the tournament, those 2 guys both won, and they put themselves in the final. So it was very, these are best friends forever in the final against each other. They played a best of 2. Josh Jr. came out with a big win on the first game. Jackson came out with a slightly smaller win on the second game. So congrats to Josh Jr., who hopefully is watching tonight or watching a recording. I think he said he went to club instead of hanging out for this. And also congrats to number 2, Jackson Smylie.
Thank you very much. That was actually the first time Josh and I played for the win in a tournament, which is pretty cool. Never want to do that again, because I do not want to lose to him again. But moving on, we want to head into tournament talk. We actually predicted Shediac last week, and some guy named Josh Sr. sitting next to me.
No, I'm not Josh Sr. I'm Josh.
Okay,
so,
but
we did it differently this time.
Because Shediac has the finals, we predicted the top 2. We tried to predict both the finalists, and we gave 2 points to the first pick and 1 point to the second pick. And somehow Josh predicted.
Look at that!
Both finalists.
I got both right.
I want to say I'm still in the lead for this, even though I predicted wrong both these guesses. I
thought that this caught me up. All right, we got some research to do, but Tournament Talk is the feature where every week we pick winners of tournaments that are coming up. We look back at how we did with those predictions, and obviously I did pretty well this week.
So this week we're going to start out with
even though I only picked those 2 so that you couldn't pick them. I didn't really.
Sure I would not have. The first tournament we're going to pick this week is Cowtown, Ohio.
Yes, and this is a tournament that I would consider going to, actually. I think it's run by Christy Zerbrick, or she's the one who puts out all the stuff on Facebook. This happens in Ohio. Here's what the matchup looks like. So you're saying you're still ahead. That means I got first pick, right? So I am going to go here with, we talk a lot about going chalk or not. I'm going Dan Stock. I think Dan
Stock. I'm going to go with a guy who's done very well in D2 before at Nationals, Joe South.
Okay, and Evan, you like anyone here?
Can I repeat a pick?
Oh, sure.
I'll take. Actually, no. I gotta go Michigan with this. Sorry, Jeff.
Oh, right.
Fishbane.
Yeah,
solid pick.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, tournament number 2.
It is Wilmington, Delaware. Winter somehow found his way there right after Shediac. I don't know how he's
Yes.
closing. But I'm not going to go with Winter. I'm going to go with my man, Marlon Hill. I'm sure you're watching, Marlon. Shout out, go win this weekend.
Absolutely. So, and by the way, Heather McIntosh says, congrats, Jackson. I imagine
thank
that's
you very
on
much.
Shediac as opposed to your poor tournament talk recent picks. My pick here, I got to go Winter here for sure.
He's known to
What do you think there, Evan?
It's a coin flip for me. I'm going to go with Marlon.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm out
Hill.
on an island there by myself. Let's go to the tournament that Jackson said was the tournament of the weekend,
It's
despite
true.
only having 14 contestants. This is a Collins-only tournament. Where's this? Oh, it's happening in St. Louis,
St. Louis Park.
St. Louis Park.
Minnesota.
St. Louis Park,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Yes.
Okay,
It's
whatever
the
you
place
guys.
to be if you play Scrabble this weekend.
Okay, whatever you guys say, it's my first pick. So I guess I'm just, look at this field, man. It's crazy. I'm just going to go chalk. Let's go, Dave.
Awesome. I'm gonna go with, I think I'm gonna go with Conrad. He somehow surprises everyone and wins.
Yeah, he won a tournament recently, right?
Yeah, 4 years ago he won national.
I know, but didn't he win Oregon?
No, like
Cleaned up 17-3.
All right.
But I think Conrad's got this one.
Okay. Conrad. Why haven't we had Conrad on the show, by the way? And Evan, what do you think? Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with the hometown guy, Binsky.
Binsky.
Ooh, right. Okay, Binsky. Let's go. What's the next thing that we're talking about, Jackson?
We want to talk about our topic of the week. The controversial topic of the week is spread a good tiebreaker for tournaments?
Oh,
People
right.
have with the same number of wins. How do you tell who the better player is? Who gets the prize?
Okay, here were the poll results. We put out two options. Yes, point spread is the best tiebreaker. No, something else is the best tiebreaker. And if you don't know what we're talking about, basically your wins and losses, and if you're tied in wins, it goes to spread. You know this, right? But do you ever think about what else it could be?
Like Shauna Petrie was just telling me yesterday that curling, she's a competitive curler, curling uses head-to-head to break ties. So they see who you played, if two people tie, they see how many times you played. And if one person beat the other one 2 or 3 times, then they get the better position in the end. So this is something a lot of games seem to use. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's think about the NFL. It's like division and head-to-head come in before points differential.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that Scrabble does this. There's a lot of reasons to like spread. It keeps games interesting. Evan, you've played in the finals in Shediac, and in the finals in Shediac, they do best of 2 finals decided by spread. So spread is really, really big in those finals. How did you feel about that?
I didn't think there was any issue. I didn't have any issue with that whatsoever.
Did it change your style of play, though?
Yeah, after winning the first game by I think it was maybe 60 points or something like that, it's trying to maintain, make sure you hold that lead. And it took a bingo at the end, which he challenged just out of necessity. He was probably 99% sure it was good. He just had to make sure he challenged. So I only lost by 20 something in the last game.
Right.
So that.
Another thing that's kind of cool about the spread-based finals is that it makes every play really important, even if you've already lost the game. This happened in my finals just a few days ago. I was losing the first game by 150, which usually is just whatever, I'm just going to play anything at this point. But since it was the first game, I was I have to really, really be careful, solve this end game really carefully and everything. So something Adam Logan's pointed out before as well, that spread-based finals at least make every play really, really important. And it makes it more interesting because if someone goes up by 100, it's going to be a really boring game if they're just playing for the win.
Right.
So,
there was a lot of, we got maybe 55 votes, but something like 85 comments. There was some really good conversation. One thing that John Chu pointed out is that one of the reasons we use spread is because it's really easy for computers to recognize who should go into that position. Although I would think at this point we could get over that. And other people were there were a couple of other interesting things. I want to give a shout out to Russell Honeybun, for one, he was suggesting an alternate way, which is basically do a handicap system so that you're kind of evaluated against what your expectations are. A lot of people talked about performance rating as being a tiebreaker.
And similar to strength of schedule, like looking at how your opponents did. So the player whose opponents won more games places higher because it kind of means that their opponents were better on average. Which I think is kind of weird because part of what's exciting about spread is that it keeps it very interesting at the end, and you feel like you have control over the outcome. Like if you have to win a tournament by winning your game by 40 points, you feel like you have control over that. But then if you're paired with someone, and no matter what, you're locked out because they're like too low rated, or your strength schedule is too like bad now, it kind of like takes the control of it, which is unideal, I guess you could say.
Well, that and you can't. I don't think you can calculate all that stuff in your head.
That's also
there's way too much stuff to calculate.
We have computers there.
Yeah, we aren't computers.
So
I don't know. You guys are both 2,000 rated players. Some would argue against that. Someone else also offered the opinion that maybe we don't play with a tiebreaker. So we absolutely, you win 10 games, you win 10 games. You guys split the prize fund at that point, and you have a co-championship of this 11-game one day. I don't know, but I think that's an interesting way to look at it for sure.
I think Kenji's talked about that before. And another thing that Kenji pointed out in the chat, in the Facebook comments, is that another alternative is to play like speed games at the end of the tournament. Because like not every tournament can afford to like have a big finals because of like time. But if you have speed games, like the top two players play like a 5-minute game for the win. I think that's pretty cool. I'm obviously a fan of this. I love speed.
Yeah, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah,
this is like the whole thing of like when they talk about it in pro basketball, right? Like you're running up and down the court, you're shooting jump shots, right? That's what they call them. And then all of a sudden the game stops and they've got to shoot free throws, right?
Yeah.
So it's been likened to like running a marathon and then stopping and playing a piano concerto or whatever. Like they're two different things. So going
like
from
chess boxing?
Sure, exactly. So going from the full game down to that 5-minute speed game, like I hear you, it helps with schedule, right? Then you can play a best of 19 speed round or whatever to get you where you need to go. But I think it's crazy. Evan, what do you think?
I'm not good at speed games. I used to play once. Well, I used to play with Matt when Matt Graham used to live here briefly. I think I beat him one session, and that was
speed. Yeah. I think he's very good at speed, as he will have you know in Lake George. So one thing I want to say to that though, really quickly before we wrap up, is that,
and we're not wrapping up. We're just getting to the announcement.
You could also say that spread is a different game than winning at Scrabble. So you could say it's kind of the same thing. Like you want to win the game of Scrabble all these times, but then you have to play this weird piano concerto in order to save and rack up spread. So I would argue that that's the same thing going on. It's also a different game to play for spread, and that if we really want to stick to the win-based Scrabble, we shouldn't tamper that.
Former champion Will Anderson says we should break ties with Boggle.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, no.
So the idea is there are lots of different ways to do this. I think if we were to actually change it, there would be advocates for head-to-head and then to some degree strength of schedule. This is one of those things where I could see us one day changing this. Like it's literally spread because it's easy to understand. But I don't know if it's the best way. And this circles back to our previous controversial topic, which is, like people beating up on lower seeds.
Yes, it encourages that for sure.
That's right. So like in this tournament, if we looked at it, right, there's a way of looking at you and Josh ended up number 1 and 2, right? So you were in the final. But if you weren't in the final, the spread difference would have come from Josh won his first game by 300 points against a low seed. You won your first game by 80 or something like that against a low seed. And if that's the difference in the tournament, what the top players are able to, hammer the lower players with. That doesn't seem right.
I know what you mean. One thing I wonder though is like maybe we don't have to change fully. Like we don't need to do just spread or just head to head or anything like that. I think it would be kind of cool if every different tournament decided on its own how they want to break these ties. So that could be part of what a tournament advertises. Like, oh, this tournament is going to do speed matches at the end to decide the winner, or this other tournament's going to do head to head. I think it'd be kind of cool to have as much variation between tournaments as possible, just to keep it interesting.
Or this tournament's going to flip coins to decide it.
That's the best one.
Yeah, RPS. Yeah, we'll get that.
Fatsis says kicking field goals. That's how we should break ties.
So everyone wants their own personal best skill to be there. That just should be the writing novels tiebreaker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's the person to write a bestseller.
Well, then just to write about Scrabble, right? And throw a few sentences together, and you can combine speed with writing. So anyway, I don't think that there's a final answer here, other than this is a topic that one day we may take a look at and find a better result for. Yeah. And the more we've talked about it, the more I tend to believe that there may be a better answer out there.
It would be worth experimenting at the very least, I think. You should run a tournament with one of these tiebreakers.
Ooh, or run a regression analysis on a whole bunch of tournaments and see what the differences are. You would love to do that because you spend all your spare time looking at cross tables.
Apparently, yeah, that's what I've been told. By my parents.
At least that and not others. Yeah.
So we know you're all dying to find out where Nationals is going to be held this year. And we're going to tell you, actually someone else is going to tell you, we're going to invite on Mr. Art Moore, director of the 2019 North American Scrabble Championship. He is already ready to go for wherever it's going to be held.
Here we go. Art, how are you? Now everybody put your headphones in so we can hear Art.
Oh, I am 2 steps away
Art,
from
you are looking fine, sir.
I'm heading on a cruise Saturday, and I can't wait to get there.
Where's the cruise going to?
Somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't care. I don't know. Just be there, and I'll be fine.
This is the best thing about living in Florida, right? Is the cruise ships are right there. It's super cheap to get away. You don't need a flight or anything like that. It's just like you can just pick up. Go ahead.
Yep. 45 minutes from home, and I'm at the cruise port. And
man.
Love it. Now, let's explain who Art Moore is for those who don't know who Art Moore is.
He is the director of the last 2 North American Scrabble Championships and will be the director of the next North American Scrabble Championship.
Number 3.
Number 3, it's pretty cool. He's done an amazing job the last 2 times.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we're all excited to see where he's going to take his talents next.
So Art, can you tell us a little bit about the process, how much work goes into this? Because I'm sure people don't recognize that really there are things that you're doing probably all year round, right? Maybe with some breaks here and there, but this is not like a regular Scrabble tournament, like one of Jackson's where you just start working on it the night before. Can you tell me a little bit about what the preparation for Nationals is like?
Well, finding a site is the first step, and we have rather unique requirements. We need, upwards of 20,000 square feet of space to house the 400 to 500 to 600 people who will be there, and 2 or 250 rooms per night at the hotel. It's a lot, and it's tough to find that space and stay on the budget where we can get people who will actually come and can afford to. So. This year it was really tough. We like to have the site in place before National starts the year before, and we just couldn't get the deal. We couldn't get the right place, and we had to keep working on until we did. Thankfully, we found a place. I think we'll all enjoy it. And if you're ready, I'm ready.
We are going to do a countdown. The 3 of us are going to count down.
And then Art is going to reveal. So this is the big moment, everyone. When you see the result, hit that like or heart, or there are all these live reactions. So go ahead.
As soon as you see it, we want you to book your flights immediately. That's where we're going to go.
You're giving away something by saying you got to fly. Anyway, let's go. Let's start on the count of 5, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa!
No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm sorry.
Oklahoma
I'm
City.
sorry.
Oklahoma.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a typo on there.
That's the wrong sheet of paper.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay,
So, are you
let's try that again.
All right. 5, 4.
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
San Diego.
No, that's not it.
Oh
No, that's
my
not it
God! This is
We did not
it's
sign
too
up
much
for
on our
this.
nerves.
This is
First of all, I would
wave
love
of emotion.
to have a Nationals at San Diego.
Oh, absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely would
2002.
love San Diego.
Let's book that at some point. Okay, what is the We'll see.
How many
Or just
papers do you
keep
have?
doing this as much as you want. I don't know.
All right. We're going to give you 3 this time. 3 seconds.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right.
No, not that either. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
This
All right,
is
everyone.
everyone's on the edge of their seats.
This is pure hell right now. I'm going to leave.
All right.
Okay, final
Without
countdown.
further ado,
Here we go.
5.
5,
4,
3,
2,
1. Reno, Nevada, July 20th to 24th. This is exciting. That's the real one, right, Art?
that's the real thing.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had a lot of close contracts that didn't work out. We finally got to Reno, and they offered us 2 dates. Late July or late August. Our surveys overwhelmingly say late July is preferred over any date in August. So,
Yep.
July, we will be in Reno. I hope you will all be there, and we will have a blast.
That's exciting. Now, this is the second NASPA or NASC in Reno, right?
And it's also 4 years after.
Well, third. Well, there was the Nationals before.
That is
But
correct.
that was an NSA.
NSA. Yeah.
So, listen, I'm very excited. I had a great time the last time going to Reno. There was a little bit of controversy around that particular Nationals that had to do with playoffs. But I don't know. I'm excited.
I will go.
Back to Nevada.
Absolutely. Flights are already booked. Can't wait. So Art, thank you very much for coming on, telling us where it's going to be 5 different times. Maybe those are the future predictions for future Nationals.
I literally just got a text from Chris Cree, by the way.
Amazing.
I thought he was going to offer some kind of criticism or you should stop torturing Art, or I didn't know what he was going to say. And he just said, it's time to call into the AV call.
Well, that's where we're going to go now. We are going to wrap things up here.
But first, hold on. You can't just end the show.
Birthdays every week.
Yeah, so I want to say we really appreciate everyone watching. 20 of you have left since hearing the announcement, FYI. But we really appreciate everyone who watches, especially those birthday babies who have celebrated in the last week. I'm going to go through this really quick. Sid Morale, Barbara Gray, Nikki Deco, Lisa Brown, Herb Dickens, Nicole Kazarian, Chris Light, Chris Cree. Chris Light and Chris Cree have the same birthday. I don't know if you know that. I kind of love that, actually. Troy Frost, JJ, Evan, it was your birthday yesterday. We covered that. VJ, Patricia Shaw, and Rick Fons, we love you all. We really appreciate everybody watching the show. We do this show every week. Next week, we'll be back to Tuesday night. If you haven't seen the show before, head to the YouTube page. We have all the past episodes uploaded there. You go to YouTube and search for NASPA Scrabble. You'll find the site, and you'll find those episodes.
So before we are visited by our closing cat, we want to say a big thank you to Evan Berofsky and Art Moore for coming on the show tonight. Next week we have a pretty interesting show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Pretty interesting. Stay
We're going to
tuned.
see if this is a disaster.
But for now, you can say hello to a certain special cat who loves the show.
And we want to say, please support your local directors. They're doing, a ton of work just for your enjoyment. So get out there and play Scrabble. It's fun. It's a good time. Jackson?
And we just want to say this cat loves to play Scrabble, so you should too.
Evan, any parting words here?
When we didn't do good on
Yeah,
time.
no, they can't.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning
Wait,
in.
but it's only like a 30-point penalty, right? That's
Yeah.
not terrible. Look, we had a lot to deal with tonight. Okay, everybody. We'll
Thanks very
see you next week. Thanks for being on the show, Evan. Thanks, Art Moore. Thanks, everybody, for watching. This has been a lot of fun. NASPA Tonight. See you next week.